In life, it is so easy to have a misunderstanding, and if you throw hearing loss into the mix, it can be downright frustrating. So I had a chance to talk to local audiologist Dr. Gnewikow about how someone dealing with hearing loss can help prevent those miscommunications and how everyone else can help too. I first started by asking the doctor if a hearing aid is a cure-all.
No. We're in a sound room now. This is a place we test people. We try to test them in a sound room so the testing is accurate. We try to fit the hearing aids accurately. We use high quality hearing aids, but hearing aids are hearing aids. They're not what we were born with. And so you're never going to be able to have 100%. But what I try to tell people is use the analogy of a house. If you have a significant hearing loss, without a hearing aid, you're in the basement. With a well-fit hearing aid, we can get you on the second floor, but we can't get you in the attic. So typically a well-fit hearing aid will give you a 70 to 80% improvement in speech recognition in most listening situations. But the solution to a hearing loss is not simply a hearing aid. There are other things that we need to do as well. Just because you had hip surgery and you can now walk and you don't have to use a wheelchair doesn't mean you can run in the Olympics. There are still going to be some limitations. So I generally approach this from a couple of perspectives. One is the perspective of the patient himself. Have your expectations at a reasonable level. Realize that you're not going to get everything in every situation. The noisier the environment, the more difficulty you'll have. So one of the things I emphasize is always try to make your environment as noise-free as you can when the communication is important. So when you go to a restaurant, instead of sitting next to the cash register where everybody's coming in and the music's playing, go back in the corner, sit where there's a booth, sit where there's less background noise. Remember, a hearing aid has a microphone and it picks up whatever ambient sound is in the environment. So try to choose quieter places. You're laying in bed watching TV with your wife and she's trying to talk to you and the TV is on. Mute the TV first. When the ear is damaged, the hearing aid will amplify adequately, but remember the weak link is not the hearing aid, it's the ear itself. It can not handle multiple signals well. So by turning off unwanted noises, you tend to do a little bit better. Watch the person's face. You may not be aware of it, but everybody lip reads, even children lip read. 99% of every conversation in your life, you've been looking at the speaker. Your brain has not only been storing the audio files, it's been storing the visual files as well. Once you start losing a sense, another sense because of the redundancy in the way our bodies are designed, steps up to the bat as a pinch hitter and helps you to communicate a lot better. And those of you that have hearing losses know how many times you said, don't walk away when you talk to me, or don't talk to me from the other room, because you don't have the visual information. So looking at people, I think, is very helpful. Wearing a hearing aid on a regular basis is of paramount importance. So many people get hearing aids and they wear them occasionally and then I didn't really need it. The brain needs to acclimate to the new signal. If you put it on and wear it continuously, taking it off when you're sleeping or bathing or swimming, something like that, or around loud noise, that's appropriate. But people tend to do better if they put the hearing aid in and wear it all the time. Just like the eye doctor says with your bifocals, if you leave them on, your brain will acclimate to it much more quickly. So those are things from the standpoint of the patient, and just use good common sense. From the standpoint of the family is just as important as the patient. When the wife has been fussing at the husband to get a hearing aid and he finally got one and he's wearing it all the time and he's doing the best he can and she still talks from the other room, we know whose fault that is. Hearing aids do not restore you to a perfect level. So wives, talk in the same room if it's important enough to tell him. If you don't care if he understands, keep talking from the other room, and I think that would probably be okay.
Honey, I'm going to the mall. Bye.
True. I'm going to spend a lot of money. Say it very softly from another room. Slow your speech down a little bit. When people don't understand clearly because the nerve is damaged, it doesn't get enough information to make decisions quickly on some words that are difficult to hear. And even though the hearing aid is helping tremendously, there are still words you're going to miss. So if you slow the rate of your speech down a little bit when you're talking to your husband or wife or whoever, it makes it a good bit easier. So visual contact, slow your speech, and for a family member, it's your responsibility as well as the husband's to try to make your listening environments as quiet as possible. More background noise always means poorer understanding. Granted, it's an inconvenience sometimes, but the greater inconvenience is the lack of communication between your loved ones. So remember, rehabilitation of a hearing loss is not simply a hearing aid. Now, that's a good bit of it. It's not simply the responsibility of the patient. It's also the responsibility of the family.
Audiology Hearing Aid Associates has 2 area locations, one on Lynchburg on Langhorne Road, 434-528-4245. Also digital hearing for you. And then there is a location in Danville, 434-799-6288. Also again, digital hearing for you.